Hello, my name is Philipp von Rosen and I would like to introduce you in Markus Huemer's show, The Oranges Don't Like the Kiwi in the Painting. We are, as everyone else, still stuck in a shutdown, and I hope that you enjoy this short introduction in the exhibition. Markus Huemer is an Austrian artist who was born in 1968 in Linz, where he initiated his art studies. And then after that he continued in Düsseldorf at the Academy, and he also enjoyed a fellowship at the Academy of Media Art in Cologne. The exhibition, The Oranges Don't Like the Kiwi in the Painting, can be divided into two groups. One is dedicated to what one could consider as homages to the classic still life, and the other group of works are appropriations of Maria Sibylla Merian's copperplate prints of plants and insects. Merian was the descendant of the publishing house dynasty and came from Frankfurt. She lived in the late 17th and early 18th century, and she considered herself an artist as well as a scientist, or vice versa, a scientist and an artist. In order to bring home to people images of plants and insects that were unknown to most of the people because they couldn't afford or couldn't make it to travel the world like she did. In order to do that, she went out on journeys, long trips. She searched for plants and insects, collected them, drew them, and incised them in copper plates and had them printed. And by doing so, she was giving us, or giving her public, images of works or objects that were unknown to the people before. Markus Huemer, by appropriating her works and by giving his paintings titles that refer to digital viruses such as small virus Denzuko, like in this example, or small virus Slammer, like in this example, titles of digital viruses that had been damaging computers and their software in the industrial history of digital tools, also creates images for entities that exist or existed, for which we do not have visual evidence, though. These entities, abstract algorithms, accumulations of the numbers 0 and 1, had been baptized by the protagonists of the digital world with metaphors that come out of fauna, out of the world of biology. The largest work of our exhibition, the painting, quote, "The lovely Ikatako virus exchanges your pictures for squid," quote, is also its most complex work in regards to how it is painted. So, instead of trying to depict the plants as vividly and realistically as possible, like Merian did, and you might take a look again at the image of the copper plate of this very work, Huemer obscures precisely the illustration. One sees little of the plants and much of the possible painting techniques. In fact, the painting has 6 different and clearly defined painterly treatments. On the one hand, the monochrome surfaces in yellow, and on the other hand, the silhouette-like graphic black of the flower below. In addition, the painted pasty blossom, which you see here, in an almost naturalist way of painting it, however, just in black and white. Plus the recessed, which means unpainted blossoms and leaves, as well as the monochrome background white with fine pencil drawings. And last but not least, the central main plant, which is nudged with a brush, thus eliminating any gesture and making the process more reminiscent of a computer rendering, because it is a quasi-digital process. Color no, color yes at a specific point. No brush stroke, however. And I'm happy to show you a detail of how this is done. The other group of paintings in our show are related to its title and, by the way, again to the history of art of earlier centuries. The title of the show was, to remind you, quote, "The Oranges Don't Like the Kiwi in the Painting," quote. And the title of this specific work, which you see here, is, quote, "The oranges are numerically superior to the pumpkin in the painting." This group of works shows painted still lifes with fruits and vegetables. But they are not about showing these gifts of nature, neither as gifts nor as possible memento moris, but more about the difference between reality and pictorial reality, about the difference between the representability of the real and the point of attempting such representability. Of course, this is not only Huemer's topic. Rather, the representation of reality has been regarded over centuries as the core task of painting and sculpture. And again, of course, the results always had to be seen as more or less successful abstractions. For no matter how well and close to reality a history painting depicted the historical situation, or a still life the artistic arrangement of objects, it was always and only a depiction and not the actual event itself that was captured on the surface. And so it is with Huemer. We see painted fruits and vegetables, oranges, melons, kiwis, and pumpkins. But they are painted in false, that is, not realistic colors, black and gray tones, white and yellow where it does not belong. And they have, above all, a very strange relation to their titles. Because these titles suggest a mental life of its own of fruits, will and opinion and emotion, as we would expect, if at all, rather with portraits or history or genre paintings. One can see, for example, a watermelon lying in the center of the painting on a table. And we can ask ourselves, is this really a table? Which that means the watermelon, as the title of the painting suggests, apparently wants to be alone in the painting. And that is what is indeed the case. In fact, however, we, the viewers of the works, will only very rarely be able to learn of such a will, unless we have developed a spiritual relationship to the things depicted. This oblique relationship between painted object and work continues in all paintings of this group of works. After all, in the painting that shows a pumpkin, the kiwi is indeed not to be seen. And that is not surprising because, quote, there is no space for the kiwi in the painting, quote. What we do see, however, is a pumpkin that has been depicted by not having been painted. Rather, Markus Huemer painted around the pumpkin, and only in very slight pencil drawings, annotations, and with one small patch of oil color, he is defining the pumpkin. All the rest is kind of not painted and empty, and we basically see what is around the pumpkin. What has been painted, however, very strongly is pure color, if you want, pure brush stroke. You see this here, where Huemer took a dried out brush, large brush, and finished this corner with a dried out color. And up here, where you see a kind of black horizontal stripe that does not have anything to do with the pictorial space in which this pumpkin is defined or shown. So we have two levels of space. One is the space of the pumpkin going up to here, and one is a rather abstract space up here in this line. Again painted with a fat black brush. Let me quickly and finally get back to the titles of Huemer's still life paintings. We are, as you already had seen before, showing a group of 4 paintings that seem to illustrate the rather absurd title of the show. Quote, "The oranges don't like the kiwi in the painting." Quote, "But why should oranges not want to have kiwis in the painting? Why should oranges or kiwis or any other fruit or vegetable have a will and be able to express that at all?" However, in the paintings of this group of 4, we see oranges. Again, however, they are painted with gray color or defined by non-painting, and a yellow kiwi. Can we know that these are the fruits that are mentioned in the title? No, we can't. It's an artificial, abstract relation between the painting, the elements depicted in the painting, and the title of the painting. Everything is reigned by chance and will of the painter and the people watching the paintings. There is no reality that can be detected and learned by the painting. Well, that's it for the time being. If you wish to receive the PDF documenting the show or the small catalog that we published on its occasion, please let us know, ideally under info@philippvonrosen.com. But what is more important, stay tuned, come back when it is possible, and for the time being, stay at home, stay healthy, and let's keep fingers crossed that we will overcome this current crisis as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.